You are about to witness history in the making.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name's Haydn, I'm your host for this evening. This is show number 139, and I am here, as always, with Steve. Hi, Steve, how's it going?
Happy bank holiday.
Yes, indeed.
Let me look outside. Oh, it's a wet one. What a surprise.
Well, of course it is. It's a bank holiday. It's a British institution is having a wet bank holiday.
Well, I did get the grass cut on the Saturday. It was really warm Saturday, but since then it's gone pear shaped. I think it's the polite word to use.
Well, I'm just glad that it is raining because we picked up our new house and we've got freshly laid turf, and it's
just needs that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been blisteringly hot all week in terms of the sun, and I'm just really glad it's peeing it down, or it has done today, so that it gets that grass thoroughly wet.
And you're going to keep, you don't want to be spending your money on the water rates.
No.
You want to be getting it as best you can.
Well, to be honest, I want to get it rented out so that it's somebody else's problem.
Well, there is that as well. That is the hardest part about it, though, isn't it?
It is getting the right tenants in there. So what's been new with you then?
I don't know, really. When did we last do a podcast? It seemed like it's forever.
It's 3 weeks ago because we recorded the podcast just before my birthday.
Okay.
That was the last time that we recorded.
Blimey, it seems such a long time ago now. I'd say not done a great deal. So we've been chilling out at home at weekend, busy working, and what happened? Oh yeah, last weekend was record store day, wasn't it? That's right. And I went in the queue at 6:30 in the morning.
And did you get anything?
Yeah, I got a few bits and pieces. What I did was I went to my local store. Well, I say my local because it isn't local anymore. But I went to Christchurch to my independent store there, looking for a couple of bits and pieces that I noticed that was coming out. I was probably about 10th in the queue at 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock. So I picked up a couple of scores that I was really wanting. One is The Hitcher, which is the Rutger Hauer movie, and David Lynch's Blue Velvet, which is horses for courses. You're either going to like that or you're going to hate it. But I love it. It's a great movie.
And were you wearing Blue Velvet at the time?
I had that mask. He was doing it. And it's actually a really good score, and they put in all the licensed music as well with it. But that's one as well. And actually, one of the tracks, obviously the Blue Velvet song, you probably remember, and there was a Roy Orbison track on it as well. And do you know what? I was trying to think, where have I heard this before? Oh, it's in a game that we've played many times, used in the end credits of the sequence of episodes. Which would be Alan Wake.
Yes. So
that was quite weird hearing that in there. But that was pretty good. Then I was chatting to one of the guys in the queue, like you do. You always have a good long chat. You stand there for over an hour and a half, aren't you? So you got to make yourself known. And he was saying, I might pop out to the one around the corner. I said, well, what store's that? And he said, there's one up the road, which I didn't know exists. And then there was another store that's opened in the last year that I didn't know about. So I did pop into the one just the other side of Christchurch, just to see what the store was like. I thought, say hello and have a look. And I just went into their old second-hand store part of it. They got some old soundtracks there, original pressings. I found Superman 2. I couldn't resist. Original. I've not seen that as anywhere at all. No. And even though it's John Williams' music in it, and it's not actually him doing the performing, it was someone else. But it's still a good score, nevertheless.
It is.
And then on the Sunday we went out we went to a hotel because my wife had a voucher because Christmas COVID cancelled her workplace. They gave a voucher out to everybody. So we went to this hotel, had some lunch and a beer. And on the way there, I found there was another store that I hadn't looked at. So we were a bit early, so I pulled over on the road into the lay-by. I said, I'm just going to pop in the store and have a little look. Won't be long. So I left in the car and that. And I picked up last year's record store day, reduced to £16, was John Carpenter's, one of his scores. The only one I probably haven't got that came out.
Oh, very good.
They were quite nice as well. But there are a couple of bits and pieces that you just couldn't get. I know someone else in the Facebook group was looking for the Lost in Space things they were doing, but that you just couldn't find it for love of the money. But I'm not too fussed because I've got my copy, obviously, which I think I mentioned before, is my copies. There's only 50 of them in the planet, so I'm not too fussed with what I've got. And only 20 of them went on sale because they were all for staff at Bethesda. Not Bethesda, sorry, at the labs place where they're making.
Mm.
And but yeah, I went online and picked up the single for Escape from New York, John Carpenter. I think my biggest collection of vinyl was John Carpenter. If I got them out and put them in a height, and also speaking of him, the new reboot movie of a movie that he didn't get to direct because the thing flopped. Do you remember Firestarter with Drew Barrymore as a little child? Yeah. There's a reboot coming out in October, and John Carpenter and his godson and his son are done the score for it. Mm. So I've clicked the pre-order for that. So yeah, quite a few bits and pieces to look forward to over the next few months.
That sounds cool.
Because vinyl is a bit stretched at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to get hold of vinyls, and they're not releasing a lot when they should do. Even ones that were going really cheap, like, for example, the new Blade Runner movie, that was sort of like £16, £18 in HMV. That's shot right up in value now because they just can't get the wax to make the vinyls.
Yeah, I mean, I did pre-order some time ago the Scream collection, linked to the new movie that came out, and I've seen that yet actually, but that's not coming till June apparently. And I've got a couple of bits from Waxworks. Our subscription is still running over from last year at the moment, so there's one more album to come out for that, which we'll get with some other bits and pieces as well. And I've got The Bride of Frankenstein and Fear Street to come as well. But that won't come because what they're doing is now, if you order, say, two together...
that's really not a nice way to refer to the wife and the kids.
Yeah. And because obviously shipping these days is much more difficult how they deal with it. I won't, until the more pressings come out for Bride of Frankenstein, that I'll get them both together. Yeah. Because it saves them a few bucks, instead of doing them individually, which I said is fine. No problem with that with me. Movies. So yeah, I watched a movie last night. Really interesting movie. I've been wanting to watch it for ages. I didn't get to watch The Batman yet, unfortunately. I've got that still to watch.
I thought you had that on your TV. You tweeted a picture of it, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I do have a picture of that on my TV because it's out on the Sky Store. Yeah. And it's on very various platforms as well. But no, I watched a film which we'll talk about later on, which is very interesting. And really just got myself, how do I put it, indulged in a cake show on Netflix called Is It Cake? And if you haven't seen it,
I've seen that where they do different objects, but you have to guess, is it a cake or is it a...
Yeah, and these people are making these cakes making a cake that looks like a suitcase. Incredible, really. I'll talk about that later on. But yeah,
is that an American show or is it the British version? Because wasn't there a British one as well?
No, this is an American one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a British one.
If you look on Netflix, it's called Is It Cake, and that's the one. But I'll mention it a bit later. I'll tell you what else I've been up to. Not a lot more. Played a few games. Well, my gaming dipped a bit really. But probably because I hammered one game for a while, and I just thought, well, I might just start watching a few movies, which I have been doing, and including actually, Arrow's just got their new collection coming out. What's being pre-order?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the latest one that came out. I think it was yesterday. And there's another Dario Argento 4K coming out. So, and it's one of my favourites. So that is now on pre-order with Arrow. I didn't do it with anyone else because I think at least I know it comes in the post right.
Yeah.
And that's Tenebrae from 1981, 82. But yeah, really good movie. But yeah, how about yourself?
I watched an Arrow movie recently, which was the 4K version of Donnie Darko.
Yes, I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's strange watching that and seeing some of the stars who were actually in it. Really interesting watch. Enjoyed it a lot. Obviously it was my birthday, so got the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga for my birthday.
Yes, which we're going to both talk about that a bit later.
Yeah. There was the Insomnia Gaming Festival 68.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on at the NEC. So I took my son and his ex-babysitter Rihanna, who's now at university studying, linked to video games, sort of like the artwork in video games. We went, the three of us went down there, went for the festival. I must admit, it felt a lot smaller than in previous years. Even though it was in, a few different halls, there was just not as much. It was much more, dispersed over the area, I felt. Very much a sort of diminished presence. There wasn't as many merch stores even. There's a couple of VR areas, but there were really long queues for them, and to be honest, we just could not be bothered. There was some competitive gaming that was going on. We never really investigated that. There was some live stage shows on as well, interviews and that sort of thing. Again, we weren't really that bothered about that. We did see Jason Bradbury, who used to be on the Gadget Show.
Yes, the guy that always has the goggles. Fancy goggles
the white glasses, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but I was like literally watching it and I thought, that's Jason Bradbury. And
did you go up to him or not? Or
no, I didn't, because I didn't want to be that guy. Do you know what I mean? I did, because he was just looking around, enjoying himself, doing his own thing. And I thought, the last thing that he'll want is some, 50-year-old bloke coming, hey, it's you, I watched you on the Gadget Show and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, no, I'm not going to be that guy. But I did sneak a quick picture of him when he wasn't looking.
It reminded me the same way that in the movie Paul, when Simon Pegg and that, when they're trying to get a photograph with the guy that they went to meet, the writer.
Yeah.
So he was in the way distance, and they were trying to do a shot, just get him in the photo.
Yeah. Oh, he was relatively close. I just made it look like I was just doing something on my phone.
Was that class as stalking or not?
No, because I didn't follow him around after that. To be fair,
yeah.
I just sort of like grabbed a quick shot so that I could say to our community on Facebook, "Hey, look, Jason Bradbury's here."
Because the last time when I'm trying to which year it was. I think it was when I went. I know, yeah. So when we went to Earls Court. Now I'm not sure if it was the year I met you or the year before. Did you go to Earls Court? You did, didn't you, or not?
No, it was NEC.
So at the Earls Court, I remember getting to the beginning of the queue and getting on the VR section with one of your favourite games in space.
Mm-hmm.
You play all the time over the years.
Elite Dangerous, yeah.
Yeah, and when I was there was a big tall guy. I'm going to remember his name now. And he was getting a look into what was going on with it. And I'd have to dig out the photograph because I cannot remember his name.
Dan
really
Mayer,
famous.
was it?
No,
I know that you ran into Dan Mayer at that one.
Yeah, that wasn't that one. Dan Mayer and AC Bongos.
Yeah.
That was in Birmingham one year.
Right.
That was a few years ago.
That wasn't the one. That wasn't the year that I was there.
No, this was I think the first one I went to, and I got a photograph with both of those guys. having a chat with them. But no, this year, I think my boy came with me because I think Titanfall was coming out then as well at the same time, because I was talking to the lady that was head of the, promotion of it. I can't remember her name now. You know what about.
Aofi, is it? Or whatever her name is. Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I can't pronounce her name, but yeah. And blonde haired.
Yeah, she was,
yeah.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a guy, I'm going to dig the photograph out now. I'm going to have to have a look for it. But the guy who, I think he's a comedian or something, but he's really massive. I can't believe how big he was. And a movie actor as well. But yeah, they do flat around those people. They do, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
In and out.
But you don't want to disturb him, do you? Do you know what I mean? Or at least I didn't want to. He was looking at stuff. He was obviously, trying to find something to buy. And I thought, last thing he wants is me coming up to him and saying, "Hey, I'm a nobody." So scares me. Yeah, you just
they're gonna go. Oh,
yeah. You don't need that. It's like there's times when you approach people and there's times when you don't. And I don't think some people respect those sort of boundaries, but I tried to. Yeah. But it was nice, because I've not seen him on TV for yonks. I picked up a couple of nice bits from the art vendor who was there. I've bought some pieces of his artwork before. Mm-hmm. But that was kind of really about it. There wasn't much else. Else there. There was, however, they did have some really nice replica lightsabers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it the more expensive ones? I've seen some of them. They're really nice.
Oh, these were really nice, but they were only about 80 quid.
Yeah.
And then they also had, I forgot what they call the a custom controller stall, and they have you could just have different shells, but they also do things like take away the analog part of the sticks and that sort of stuff. But I was just looking at the custom controllers for the PlayStation, but they were 110 quid, and I thought if there were sort of like 80 or so pounds for a sprayed sprayed shell, I would have maybe bought one, but I'm not going to pay 110 quid for a standard controller.
No,
it's just way too much money. But I'd gone there with the hope that they were going to be there, so that I could get one of them. But and also I didn't think that the designs were as good either. But yeah, it was. We just came away from it thinking it was nice to be there, but it was just a bit of a shame it wasn't a little bit more exciting. And when I was talking to some of the indie developers, because I went around some of those, spoke to one guy who was doing a video game for, it was about the miners' strike. It was about doing a heist in a miners' strike. Mm-hmm. And he'd never heard of Monty Mole. Do you remember Monty Mole?
Remind me.
It was a ZX Spectrum game, which I think then went on to the 64 and that was developed by the son of a miner, and it was sort of like used to keep the family afloat during a miners' strike. Mm-hmm. But he was doing like this game that was set in the period and stuff like that. And he'd never heard of it, so I had a chat with him about it. But he said he's going to send us a review code for the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And hopefully get another review code for another game, which is a sort of like high-bit fighter as well, which we had to go on, which looked really quite good. Dragon something, I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, the other one, it was a big job, was the game that I looked at about the heist. So they all look quite good. It was a bit rough footage because obviously it's I think alpha stage, but none of the indie developers knew that they were going to be at Insomnia up until a couple of days before the event.
Okay.
So it's obviously a lot of it's been a little bit last minute. Hopefully Insomnia 69, which my son is dying to go to, I think probably because of the number more than anything else, is...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
He's that age. He's that age.
Is it? So if you farted, here's giggle and snigger.
Yeah, yeah, and 69 is funny. Yeah. Having said that, though, I'm 51. 69 can be funny occasionally as well.
when it's your 69th birthday, he'll have a crack over that one, won't he? I mean, he might be too old for that.
Yeah, he'll probably be then a bit, sort of how embarrassing, Dad, you keep making jokes about that. So yeah, it was an all right event. It was nice to have gone. It was certainly, I think, for what we looked at, we didn't need the full day. I think we got there for when it opened, or a couple of minutes before it was open. So we walked, we had the big walk in. There wasn't even like the meet and greet that there was in the last one, where they had people on stage and doing a performance and stuff like this. There was none of that. It was just literally, the countdown and then you were in. So yeah, it was not as well organised as previous, but it's the first one since since COVID. So it's better to have had it than not at all. But yeah, so that was it really. And then, as I already mentioned, we got the house, which was a few months earlier than was expected. So
it flew by, didn't it? I didn't expect.
And we weren't expecting it until July or August. And then this month, now in 3 weeks' time, I get my solar panels installed.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Yeah, and got through the plans for the new extension, which we're having. Which we're just waiting for approval from the council on. So yeah, interesting times, lots of change. That's it. So shall we move on to what we've been doing this week? Okay, it's got a gaming this week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
All right, so gaming this week, and we've got a couple of little bits of news. Probably a bit older news now for many of you, but Sony has announced a target launch date for its all-new PlayStation Plus service tiers. So in an update from Sony Interactive, the president, Jim Ryan, says that they've been making fantastic progress with launch efforts, and that they'll soon be rolling out a service to a little earlier to the select markets in Asia, followed by Japan. The exact rollout is Asia markets, excluding Japan, will be about May 23rd. Japan is targeted for the 1st of June. The Americas is going to be targeted the 13th of June, and then Europe will be the 22nd. So this is all about the new tiers of having either the bog standard PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Plus with a few hundred PS4 and 5 titles included, and then the Super Uber version of PlayStation Plus, which will have all of the above, plus a load of PS3, 2 and 1 titles in there as well. So it'll be interesting. We haven't seen what the prices are going to be on that yet, but looking at it, it looks like it's going to be about the same price, and then the upper tiers being probably around about 80 or 90 and 100 quid. That's what I would be estimating based on what they've actually, put out in terms of dollars. Other than that, Old Republic remake devs want to do another Star Wars classic. So Aspire Media, who are best known for video game ports of the upcoming Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, is mentioning that they'd really like to bring another game back from the brink, which is a Nintendo 64 game, which was Rogue Squadron, and want to bring that to modern hardware. So this was expressed on Twitter, and responding to fans when asked if they would ever consider the Rogue Squadron series. So it was Rogue Squadron. If you haven't already played it or previously played it, it was released originally on a Nintendo 64 and PC. It's an arcade shooter that places you in various different Star Wars ships from the original trilogy, and it went on to spawn 2 sequels on the GameCube. Those were Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, in 2001, and then in 2003, where it was Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3, Rebel Strike, again on the GameCube. The third title also introduced ground battles and allowed you to leave vehicles and explore on foot and stuff like that. So, sounds like, I mean, I've played those games on the GameCube, not on the N64, but I played the 2 and 3 on my old GameCube, and I used to love those games. So I'm glad that they're bringing them back, or hopefully we'll be bringing them back.
I mean, Knights of the Republic's been mentioned a little while ago, wasn't it? Actually, that was announced some time ago, I think.
Yeah, but this isn't about that. This is about
the others,
the other games that they've expressed an interest in.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. I mean, there's still a call for old Star Wars games all the time, isn't there? So
yeah, of course there is.
You know, but saying that, anything else on that?
No, that's about it.
All I was going to say was the week I've got a week off in June. As you know, we get a couple of extra bank holidays bolted together in June, don't we? For the Queen's Jubilee.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, the 12th of June, Xbox have got a Bethesda showcase, which will be interesting. And I'm hoping this is going to shut all those people up that are saying that Starfield ain't coming out.
Say what's not coming out, sorry?
Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah, it's coming out. They've been advertised the fact that there's 200 days to go to the launch of it.
So they're doing their own like mini E3 again, like they normally do, just to see what's going to be out and about for the coming 6-7 months and forward from that.
Thinking about Bethesda, actually, I don't know whether or not you're aware, because you're not really a big PC user, but might be of interest to some of our listeners, is that in terms of the Bethesda launcher, Bethesda are actually retiring it. So what you need to do is you need to go into your Bethesda account and add your Steam account. And then you can now transfer your purchases over to Steam. If you don't do that,
you'll lose them, will you?
You won't be able to play them. They'll still be on the Bethesda launcher, but they won't be playable because they're retiring the launcher, and then eventually you will lose them. So it really is best off if you've got Bethesda games on PC, download that launcher, add your Steam account to your Bethesda details, and then click on transfer and get all of those games transferred over. What is really weird, though, is games that they've sort of given you for free over the years, they're not giving you. They're only ones that you've actually bought, because when I look in my launcher, I've got sort of like 8 or 10 games in there, some of which are like the very early Elder Scrolls and stuff like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 3, I think, was one of them, and maybe the one before. And they've not transferred over, but I never bought those. But I somehow obtained them through the launcher, whether or not they were, giving them away or whatever, or they've got in there somehow.
Yeah.
Never quite sure. But definitely worth a login, just in case you've got anything that you own on there, so you don't lose it. Because I had Rage 2 and Doom 64.
Yeah. Because you want, obviously, as you know, we know you love Bethesda games, and you don't want to lose them, do you? Because you love playing them. So
yeah, Bethesda being my favourite go-to game company, because when I want to see how a game is wrote so badly.
Excuse me, like choking my wine.
I know, I timed that perfectly for you having a gulp there, didn't I?
Let me drink a bit of water. I've got that with me as well, just to help,
Yeah.
Oh, it's better.
Anyway, do you want to do the new releases, Steve?
Okie dokie, as I say. So, new releases we have. Starting from the 4th of the 5th, we have the Wildcat Gun Machine on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. On the 5th of the 5th, we have Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate on the PC. Best month ever, PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Switch, and everything else probably on the 5th of the 5th as well. Coming to the 6th, we've got Crown and Pawns, Kingdom of Deceit, PC only on the 6th. On the 10th, we have Songs of Conquest, PC again. On the 11th, we have the Brigadine Legend of Runeseer on the PC, whatever that one be, on the 11th. Katana on the 12th, PC only. Also the 12th, we got Centennial Case, a Shinrai Story on the PC, PS5, PS4, Switch from Square Enix. And the last one, which will be very interesting to see how that goes, is the Evil Dead game.
Yes.
On the 13th. Unlucky for some. Groovy, that's what I'm going to say.
Groovy.
So yeah, all platforms. So that'd be interesting. I think that's going to be another one of those live games where you run around with a group of people online, isn't it?
I think it's an asymmetrical sort of game. Have you watched the Ash versus the Evil Dead TV series?
No, do you know, I've never watched it, and I've always been meaning to maybe pick it up and have a look at it somewhere if I can.
Yeah, you should do. I think you'd enjoy it.
Because when we go to the Microsoft Edge, we go to the store. Now there's been an advert kicking around on Twitter and various platforms for a game that really looks like I'm interested in it. I think when you got there the 13th or the 5th, so if I can just bring up, I'm going to try and find it now, because obviously sometimes you just can't find it when you want it. So let me go to the Microsoft Store. Do you know what? When you want something on the Xbox, you can't find it, can you? Here it is here.
No.
And if I go to games coming soon, I think it will be on. Let me have a look, see if I can find it. Here we go. Yeah, okay. So, is the game coming out? Does it give a date, details? 10th of June. So, day after my birthday.
What game's that?
The Quarry. Have you heard about it?
No.
So, this is, do you remember the PlayStation game that came out, which was sort of a horror story set in the mountains, and you had different people where you could take the way the story go, that would branch into different ways depending on the conclusion of however you play out the game. Haydn Patel was there.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Well, this is something similar, and all it shows you this is a horror visual sort of game. And if you look at the advert for it, there's quite a few people who are pretty well known in it. I'm trying to see if I can see. I go to the trailer and I just have the trailer playing in the background. And it's not often I want to buy a game on Xbox because we got the Game Pass and everything pretty much comes on there, doesn't it?
It does.
But this, I think, I'm looking forward to. This is from 2K, and there is, if you play it, you can get to play in the background. I say this is from Supermassive Games. Isn't that the same people that did that one? I've got a funny feeling it is.
It was Until Dawn, the one that you're talking about.
So
it was Supermassive Games.
Yeah,
it was under the Sony banner, but it was Supermassive Games who developed it.
Yeah. So this is same sort of style, very familiar faces. There's a guy there from Scream that was a cop. Was it Richard Arquette? And there's a few. I actually recognise one of the girls from Modern Family, the younger daughter. She's in it as well. And it's typical horror sort of movie in the woods, campfire, Friday the 13th or whatever. So I think I'm going to be up for that.
Yeah, I have to admit, Haydn Panettiere is a very useful actress for me to quote. And the reason why that is because I've noticed this is worse since coming back from COVID, and it's even people who have known me for years are spelling my name Hayden. Yeah. My name is spelled Haydn, as in the composer Haydn, but because he was Austrian, he couldn't pronounce Welsh names.
Yeah.
So when people turn around, and put my name down as Haydn with an E, I then say, I must be the cheerleader. So you've got to save me to save the world. And go, what are you on about? And only one person I know has ever got that. and that's somebody I work with. And it was
Really?
the other day. Yeah, I literally for work this week I went to an event, first face-to-face meeting in ages, and had put my my ID badge. You know, the place I'd gone to, printed out my ID badge, and it had me as Haydn with an E.
Mm.
So when somebody like said, you know, was talking about the badges, I said, "Well, I must be a cheerleader." And I said, and everybody like looked at me, and then Kat turned around and went, "I get that reference." And it was sort of like, yes, finally somebody gets the joke.
So what it actually says is, as the sun sets on the last day of summer camp, the teenagers' council of Hackett Quarry throws a party to celebrate. No kids, no adults, no rules. Things quickly take a turn for the worse. Haunted by a bloody drenched, locals of something far more sinister than teens party and revel into an unpredicted night of horror. Friendly banter and flirtation give away the life or death decisions as relationships build on a breakup under the strain of this unimaginable choices. So yeah, I'm so up for this game. It's right up my street.
Yeah, I quite like those sort of games.
And if you get it digital, you get it early as well.
And also, you can't get enough of Haydn Panettiere.
No, but in this one, you got. I don't think it gives the list actually. You'd have to probably look in the movie database. But yeah, there's. I'm looking at the poster of it, and there's an old lady in it. I think she was in the Conjuring movies, for example. But yeah, because actually in that last one on the PlayStation, old Freddie Mercury was in, wasn't he? I say Freddie Mercury. The Bond villain. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he was.
He was in it as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But I like those sort of games. They do take the time, and I think they're very playable more than once.
Well, they are if you want to get 100% on achievements.
But also the storylines are different. There's different ways to finish it, try and save all the people and that in the games and that.
Yeah, that could be quite tough.
Yeah, but yeah, that was one of my favourite PlayStation games I played first off when I first picked mine up. Really was. But anyway,
I'd thought Heavy Rain would have been one of your favourite ones as
do you
well.
know, funny enough, Heavy Rain, I've got that, but I've never actually turned it on. You've not played it yet.
Oh, well, you never know. You might get turned on by turning it on.
Well, I think I've got it digitally now. I did have it. I don't know if I've actually got the copy. I've got it up there. I'll see if I can see it now. Oh, I think it's digitally. I own that now.
Yeah.
But I probably can't access it because I haven't got live or something stupid, you know.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Definitely worth a go as that game. No, it's a good story in Heavy Rain, apart from the shouting out your kid's name bit where you have to wander around and you've got to click it so many times shouting the kid's name. That bit was a bit poor, but otherwise the rest of the game's good. Good story, kind of like saw the end coming from over the horizon, but you know,
yeah,
you can, the thing is, I think when you get to sort of like our age, we've seen so many different types of endings. You kind of like it's easy to guess a lot of endings of movies now.
Well, you seem to see work out, you know, before the film starts sometimes, don't you? And
yeah, but to me, I don't mind that. I've never been one who's been bothered by spoilers because for me, half of the enjoyment is in the getting there as well as, you know, the spoilers. And there's some spoilers like, you know, I really don't want to walk into a film and not be prepared for, to be honest.
Well, when I talk about one later on, that film I did not know anything about it, and I only saw the trailer for it when I watched it on Sky, but that took a turn I didn't expect. But yeah, it goes like that sometimes, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay, do you want to? What's the next bit?
Yeah, I'll go on to subscriptions. So in terms of games goals, we've got Yoki Island Express from the 1st of May. The Inner World, The Last Wind Monk will be blowing our way by May the 16th. You've got Hydro Thunder Hurricane from the 1st to the 15th, and Viva Pinata Party Animals from the 16th to the 31st. On Game Pass, we've got Loot River, get it right, on the 3rd, Citizen Sleeper on the 5th, Trek to Yomi on the console, PC and cloud on the 5th, Ayundan Chronicle Rising on console on the 10th, Headspace Shipbreaker on the PC on the 24th, Sniper Elite 5 on PC and console on the 26th, and Pac-Man Museum on PC and console on the 27th. PlayStation-wise, we've got FIFA 22 on PS5 and PS4. We've got Tribes of Midgard on PS5 and PS4, and Curse the Dead Gods on the PS4. All of those will be for PlayStation subscribers from May the 3rd. And then on Twitch, we have Dead Space 2, Cat Quest, The Curse of Monkey Island, and Out of Line. And then finally, on Epic for this week, we have Just Die Already and Paradigm. And then from the 5th of May, we've got Terraforming Mars. So those are the games for this week.
Unusual. They're getting FIFA 22 early then.
Yeah.
Where you'd have thought that would be on Game Pass pretty soon because of the. But it's not as yet anyway. But
don't forget that's only Amazon Prime Gaming. It's a Twitch games. So it's
no,
PC.
the PlayStation Plus one. You got FIFA 22.
Sorry.
There,
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Which is a bit early. Normally that because the game sort of switches about September, November.
Yeah.
Surprise! Oh, you know we've got probably about 6 weeks left of the football season anyway. Yeah, but I say I want to see that on Xbox as soon as so I can get to play that because I didn't buy it this year.
Yeah.
Well, I stay clear of that because of other stuff. But
funnily enough, I stayed pretty clear of it as well.
Yeah, I don't. But you don't like sports, so.
No, I like sports. I just don't like playing sports video games.
Did you? Yeah.
Or watching it.
Yeah, you're weird, aren't you? It's all right.
No, I like playing it. It's nothing about with playing sports. So you said, did I get something?
No, it's all right. Go on, Karen.
Okay. So, game of this week, Steve, what have you been playing?
Well, I'm just loading it up now on the TV in here. So if I just go back to earlier today, so just so we can, we'll all finish on the one we've both been playing.
Okay. So shall we do the Scooby-Doo bit?
So I've started Life is Strange, True Colours.
Okay.
I didn't realise it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I've been on that this afternoon while watching the football. Just completed the first act in it as well. It's pretty much standard stuff with Life is Strange. You know how the games play. You know how they work. The story here, we have a girl that's moved into this little Canadian out in the middle of nowhere village to see her brother, and she's got some strange powers, which I'm just sort of learning them at the moment. Yeah, it's really okay. It's standard stuff. It's like the other Life is Strange games that we've had before in the past. Okay, graphically wise, obviously they've tweaked them for the next gen consoles, so you do look a bit better. And yeah, it's all right. It's okay. I'll probably go through this in stits and starts, and I'm sure I'll get to finish it. Not bit tight on the old achievements. I just got one for the just finishing the first act at the moment. But I'm sure there are other ones that if you start to go through them that you can pick up. Yeah. So yeah, so just that. I mean, I've really been playing Destiny either, to be honest. It's just been a bit.
I've got to admit, in terms of Life is Strange, I kind of get a bit lost with them because I know I 1K'd the first one, and then there was another one came out, but I think I missed one. Is this the one that's been remastered that came out second, or is this a
no? This is the new one.
Right. Okay. Because I know I missed one along the way. Because hasn't there been about 3 before this one?
So we had. I'm going to go into my full library. That's the easiest way to do this. But I can probably find them all. If I can go to L, the way I've got this done. So the first Life is Strange. It just seems such a long time ago now. They would have been on the Xbox 360, wouldn't they? Yeah. They came out.
I mean, there was Life is Strange 2 Colours, Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange Before the Storm, and Life is Strange. So I think it's Before the Storm that I never played. I think I did 2, but not Before the Storm. I think that was you played the other character, because there was 2 main characters, wasn't there, in the original Life is Strange, and I think you played the other character. Or it was a prequel or something or other like that. I wasn't really that bothered about the game.
Yeah. So her friend, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You played. Yeah, I remember playing that. Yeah. I did that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I played much of that at all. I only got 3 achievements on it, so no, I definitely didn't.
Yeah. So the first Life is Strange. It was her story moving to that. Went to school, didn't she? And we were going through that story with there was like a murder in the school or something that happened, wasn't there? And that was all of that. And she got to know the other girl that was a bit of a wild one.
Yeah.
And then her story was the next one. And then was it 3? It's 3 games, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
No, there's 4 games.
Yeah.
There's 4 games in total.
So did I play it? I'm sure I played them all. Yeah, I must have done. Positive I did. But yeah, this one's a completely new story. Nothing to do with any of the other ones, other than it just got in the title. If you fancy that, because Life is Strange. Here we go. Life is Strange Before the Storm. Yeah, so I've got that as well.
Yeah. See, because you're doing the thing where you're trying to get an achievement every day, aren't you? For you,
every day. This game here I've started. I mean, if I go to Microsoft Rewards, here we go. I need 2 more. You need 3 for the weekly rewards. I've got 2 days left to get 2 more achievements, I think.
Yeah, for the weekly rewards. But I mean, I thought you were trying to do one for that 50 Microsoft points for doing an achievement every day, or is it?
There's the 100 weekly set.
Yeah,
they ask you to get 3.
But there's also one that's on the console where if you get an achievement every day, you get 50 points as well. Yeah, it's actually built in onto the console. It's not there all of the time, but it's there 90% of the time.
That's right. So any achievement in any game is worth 50 points. Yeah, I've just clicked it and got it. So yeah.
Yeah. So
that because I don't think that's weekly, is it, or daily? Is it?
Yeah, it's daily.
Is it? Daily. Okay.
Yeah. So what I was thinking was for that, why don't you just do a little, each little bit of the Telltale games?
Yeah.
Because you could keep yourself going for that, and then it would only take you 10 minutes between achievements. So it'd mean that you would get, over the course of a week, that's 350 Microsoft points.
Yeah, and there's ones at the bottom you get. So I don't have the app for, is it YouTube? Yeah, I don't have the app for YouTube. So it asks me every week, do you want to put it on for 5 points? And I just go in and go out again and don't put it on. So I get that. But yeah, no, it's I think I popped the most recently was playing a certain Lego game we'll talk about in a bit. That's where I think I got the most just of late.
Yeah.
So yeah. So any other games before we dive into that? Anything else you've been playing?
Well, do you want to do Lego and then I'll finish off with my other game?
Whichever way you want to do it, mate.
We'll do it that way. So let's talk about the Lego game now. So Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga's released. All 9 episodes movie of the franchise. There's a lot of gameplay there.
It's one hell of a game, isn't it? And
it is.
Although there's a few little gripes with it, I've had a few little glitches in the game, believe it or not.
Yeah, I have as well. But you can normally get through those.
Yeah. There's been some people have been, before we go on to the positives, there's some people have had issues regarding the blue bricks.
Right.
And saying that they're a bit of a pain in the ass to pick up. Well, actually, I think they're not that difficult if you just play the game as you go.
Yeah.
I mean, how many blue bricks have I got? I've got a Galaxy. Here we go. I've got 177 out of 1,166. And that's not that really trying.
Yeah. I think I've got about 400 so far.
Yeah. And I played the game. I played all the story mode.
Yeah.
In the right order, might I say?
You're talking about our order. You see, I actually did it episode order.
What, 1, 2, 3 onwards?
Yeah.
No, that's one way to play it. 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and then the others at the end.
Yeah, 7, 8, and 9.
That's how I got on with it.
Yeah, to be fair, I kind of knew the big reveal in episode 5, so I just kind of thought I'll just do it the normal episodic order.
Yeah. That was my only real gripe with it. I mean, there is so much in collectibles in this game.
Oh, huge amount.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
but a lot of the collectibles are linked to doing very specific things in the game, and some of which you have to have very specific characters to do
which you don't always pick up so you don't pick up.
You can buy them, you can unlock them with studs, but what my personal advice to anybody playing this game is don't play free play mode until you've completed the game. Just play the game in whatever order of the episodes that you like, but just play the whole game, and you will unlock a load of characters just by playing the game. There's no point in spending your studs. What you should be doing in this game is concentrating on collecting as many studs as you can and finding a data card. And when you unlock 1 million studs, you'll then get your first multiplier that you can unlock. And then also ploughing your bricks that you collect into some of the earlier things, particularly about attracting studs option, because you can then pull studs from hidden areas.
Yes, so that skill tree was pretty interesting, actually, how they did that. Forgetting the rest of the way this works, I can't bring the skill tree up now. Where is it? There we go. So the core upgrades. So I didn't bother too much with the classes at the moment.
No, I didn't. I just ploughed everything into the basic stuff.
Yeah. So the core upgrades, the track stud, you want up to level 3 on that.
Yeah.
And what else did I go for? I obviously was doing the health anyway. And also the fast build, I got 2. I'm on 2 on that. But at the moment, I don't need to worry about anything else at the minute because...
See, all of that, I've unlocked the whole lot. And I've got up to the 8 times stud collector now. And I just need to find, which I know where it is, I've just not got and picked one up. I need to get another data card because I can get the one on Hoth. And then once I've got enough studs collected, so that once I've got that data card, I'll then get the 10 times multiplier.
Yeah. No, I don't think I came off this pretty quickly, personally. What am I on? Let's have a look. Yeah, so I've got ×2 and ×4 studs. My next one is ×6 at 8 million. I'm on 7 million at the moment, so that won't take too long.
Yeah.
I mean, if you replay some of the flying missions.
Oh, the best one to do is the first one in episode 9, where you're flying a Falcon through the ice planet, and just don't shoot the TIE fighters, just shoot all of the the platforms or girders or whatever it is that are up and above and below. Just go through that, shoot that. You will shoot up with studs to the point of I can get like, I think about half a billion studs in a playthrough nearly.
What planet was that on? I can't remember now.
It's on episode 9.
Yeah, I'm just I've got the galaxy map open at the moment.
Right, we'll go into episodes. Go into the next tab along, go into episodes. And then go into episode 9.
Oh, really? I don't know if I've ever done that this way before. It's really weird how you play these games.
Yeah.
Oh, that way. Okay, no, I got that way, yeah.
Yeah. And if you do that, then you can select the episode to fly the Falcon through there, which was a beginning part of the episode 9 as a movie. And it's not bad fun either, but
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
I'm just going through it now, having a look. So, skip and jump was the first one, I think.
Skip and jump, that's the one to do.
Yeah. It's funny, earlier on in the game, you don't get the... I mean, I've got to go back and I will do it, though. It's getting the true Jedi, isn't it? Or you get in there when you get the...
That's the last trophy I got in there, was true Jedi at all levels.
Yeah, because I've done that on that one there. I think it's just...
I think I got to the Empire Strikes Back, and halfway through the Empire Strikes Back was when I'd got enough studs for the 2 times. And then I bought the multiplier, and then after that, every level after that was then True Jedi before I finished it. And now because I've got the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 8, and they all multiply each other, I've now got a super massive amount. And literally, I'll shoot something, the studs will attract to me, and if I haven't already got True Jedi, I'm nearly at it. It's like within a couple of stud indicators before the end. So once you get the 10 times, you just get silly amounts of studs.
Yeah. Now, I like the way that the story he decided to make them not too long because we've played these games before. They decided to try and make it the story parts you play you've not played before.
Yes.
And I think that was really good to do that. And
or if you are playing them before, they play in a different way.
Yeah, I think they've just done such a grand job with what you're playing and the story mode and how the interaction with the different parts of the sequences that you're showing, you're playing.
Yeah.
I just think it's pure genius and what they've done with it. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably one of the best Lego games they've done. I think. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of it, the movie. So should we just describe how it is, just the way that the game's sort of structured? Because the movies are obviously split between the 6 traditional levels that you got in other Lego games. But the strange thing is, each world has its own sort of, or each of the levels has a sort of like plus a hub world or 2 per movie, and a space hub as well. So each with their own things for collecting their own Lego bricks. And like there's well over, it's like nearly 1,200 bricks or something like that you've got to collect. And they're all unlocked by getting bits of the mini kit, doing specific tasks on all of these worlds in the hubs and stuff like that, as well as doing the same things in the standard levels for getting true Jedi, because in the hub worlds you don't do the true Jedi thing. No. That's what I thought. I mean, there's over 400 characters to unlock in the game as well. But obviously you don't want to be unlocking those with the studs. You want to keep the studs for buying the multipliers, because once you get the multipliers, things start happening a lot faster.
Yeah.
And when you go into the free play mode, you can then you then get a selection of all of the different characters that you've got, and you can change those around as well. So I bought the Game Pass for this. So I've got like characters from Rogue One, from The Mandalorian and stuff like that as well. So when I select Mando, I actually get Grogu following us around in his little baby crib thing. So they've changed up this game an awful lot while still keeping it very true to the original sort of games as well.
Yeah.
If you remember going back to like Lego Star Wars 2, they had the mumbling rather than the actual speech.
They did, yeah.
And there is an option to go back to that.
You can toggle it in, can't you, for a bit of fun?
You can, yeah. There's also, if you unlock or you find all of the data pads and you have enough studs, you can also unlock different like weapons, big head modes, stuff like that as well, all to make it a little bit more fun. Now, in some areas, not every area, but in some areas, if you hang around in the space hub for long enough, you will get the Death Star pop in, or Darth Vader's Superstar Destroyer, or the Superstar Destroyer from the latter films, from The Rise of Skywalker, or the Death Star 2. And if you go and land on them and you beat the game, or beat the level, the level with it on, you can then buy the Death Star or any of those other vehicles. Have you done any of those yet?
I don't think I have, actually.
Yeah. It only works on certain worlds, and there are a lot of worlds as well.
Yeah.
The pod racing one was quite fun, I thought.
Well, I remember that from originally when we
Star
first
Wars
had it. Yeah, and that was good fun. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I just think when I look at it, the humour, the set design for each of the maps, it's just spot on. Obviously, we've gone up with the new with this gen console, should we say? It's not next gen now, this gen. There's a lot more detail into how they put the world. So when you're in a cave, it looks like a cave.
Yeah.
Where before it was never like that.
Yeah.
On Tatooine with the sand and everything else, it just looks great. It really does. The ships seem to look better for some reason. I don't know why. The detail on them is far more with it as well. The voices they've done for this as well. I think they did a grand job with the voices.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think the only one that wasn't as, I think I'm going to be picky, Princess Leia's wasn't as good as it probably maybe could have been. But Harrison Ford and Lando, these, they're great. It works, and you think you're playing, you think you're in the Star Wars. I think this is one of the best Star Wars games out there, really. I think.
I think it is one of the best Star Wars games out there, and I think it's one of the best, if not the best, Lego game as well. I think they've done a really, really good job with this game. If you have ever played a Lego game and you've enjoyed it, you will definitely enjoy this, even if you don't like Star Wars, because it's just that normal thing. In terms of bugs, I've had a couple of bugs. The first bug, which is a well-known one on the PlayStation, actually, doesn't seem to be affecting the Xbox in the same way, is on the level where you've got to get Luke on side, and you've got to get him his milk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one, from that horrible scene in that movie. Which we would really like to be wiped out of Star Wars canon. But in that, on that scene, obviously you've got to find the milk and, give it to Luke. Luke got kind of stuck and just stood outside of his hut. He didn't go for a walk, which is supposed to follow him around. And basically you do a lap of the island, more or less, and then come back to near where you are, behind where you are. And you get the milk there. But what I found when I ended up having to look it up online because I couldn't skip the level, and every time I quit and come back, I was in the same place, and Luke was doing the same thing. But all I had to do was go to where the level ended, and it naturally ended anyway. So that was that one, and then the other one I had yesterday, and I'm not sure if it's because I got the True Jedi during the playthrough, but I was fighting Anakin on Mustafar in the first area, and then Anakin stopped attacking, and he just stood there, and he did nothing.
Right. What happened to me was, when I went to Mustafar, actually, I'm going to go there now, actually. When you're in the first, there we go, let's go to Mustafar, where is it? There we go. When you mining complex, no, I think it's the space area, isn't it? The first landing area.
Yes, it's as soon as you come out.
Yeah. So when you get the scenes where Ben Kenobi comes out and you start to have that bit of a fight, and you're on the platform there, and then you go down some steps and it goes into another section, which is like the big control room, if I remember rightly. And it would hang there just for some reason, and I couldn't progress. I had to come out the game and go back in again and restart and replay the level.
Yeah,
it just was really weird. I haven't looked online to see if there were any, if TT Games or whoever was saying that there was issues with some of this or something. I don't know. But yeah, it didn't bother me too much. I've seen worse in games, if you know what I mean.
It didn't bother me either because I was only playing that level. Not because I wanted to play the level, but because I just wanted to get the achievement of True Jedi. And to be honest, I was in there for about 10 seconds and I got the achievement because of all of the multipliers. But it was just more of an annoyance because I thought I'll play the level till the end and see if I can unlock any of the extra bits, because it takes you a couple of goes through to work out where everything is. And there are some points that you can do a jump or a fall or something like that, and then you're not able to progress back to where you were. If you've missed something in terms of the map, which is a bit annoying. But it's just the way it is.
If you do go to the settings and you can change it where you don't die. So if you jump off a platform and you'd lose all your studs.
Yeah, I switched that off straight away.
Yeah. That helps out as well.
Yeah, to be honest,
it's not cheat because it's not a cheat as such, because it's in the game to change the settings. So
yeah, to be honest, all it does is just delay you being able to do the same thing. It doesn't change the gameplay, other than the fact it means that you don't lose out on studs if you fall off something. And I think I fell off something once.
Yeah.
So it's probably saved 25,000. Well, whoopie-doo. But yeah, so I think it's a great game. Absolutely love it. I hope they do DLC. I'd love to see them do DLC for Rogue One, for Solo and for The Mandalorian and maybe Boba Fett. That would be great.
You think that would be a given, wouldn't you?
You would, but the season pass is only for characters.
So the season pass you have to purchase, don't you?
Yeah.
Where is that in here?
It's in the store.
No, there's a link sometimes within the game.
Yeah.
Accessibility, change language, enter code. No, it's not in the code. So enter code, actually. There are a lot of characters you can get online by picking the codes up. Did you do that, yeah?
No.
So if you go online and look for coded characters, there's a big handful of Lego codes for characters you can unlock just by putting the code in.
Right.
About 10 of them, maybe more. I've got Darth Vader with a Christmas jumper on. And it's got the Death Star on the jumper.
Yeah. Well, there was a Lego character like that, wasn't there?
Yeah. But there is I mean, I try to look for some other cheat codes for fun because, you sometimes do get them.
Yeah.
But there's nothing really there's nothing I can diss really about this game for what it is. It's superb. The comedy's good in it. I think they did a great job with that. They kept some of the key scenes literally line by line in every movie.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job with the game.
And there's just other bits and pieces you can do. I like the idea that if you haven't got the right character to translate an alien, you have to make sure you got a droid to do it.
Yeah, but when you've got 500,000 studs and a data pad, you can actually unlock it so that any character can translate.
I've just unlocked another section actually. Just saw we just chatting here. So I think I'm on ×8 now. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've just done ×6.
Yeah.
So you've unlocked all, haven't you? So anything else worth unlocking in, do you think? I'm just looking in there at the minute.
I would say I would just unlock the times, just concentrate on the multipliers.
Yeah, I have
carry on playing the game because you're going to be unlocking stuff all the way along, including the mini kits, which then unlock mini versions of the ships and stuff like that as well. But I just complete the game and just do the true Jedi and just get everything, because by the time you get through all of that, you will have earned enough studs to get the 10 times multiplier, and it's insane amount of studs you start to get from the 8 times.
Yeah,
it really is.
I just like the look of it. I've just gone to a scene from the first Star Wars film, and it's just so clever how they put it together.
Yeah, I mean, even on like a standard level, like the opening one for A New Hope. On that level, I was coming out with 48 million studs, and that's on 8 times.
How do you find about the actual third person, the way you can actually do the shooting now and that? Did you feel that was not a problem?
The flipping over to first person mode, yeah, that was fine. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
I think I like it. I like the idea.
I quite like the way that there's some characters, like the scavenger version of Rey, the Ugnaughts, the Ewoks, where you can have either a net thrower, a sort of like kind of extra gun that will knock down certain walls, or you can glide with them as well. That gives a bit of an extra difference.
Yes, that's right, because there's some areas you need to get to.
Yeah.
Which you need to either glide or very clever. Yeah.
But I love the fact that the hub worlds and the space hubs as well, they all have stuff to do for you to earn studs and also earn bricks. Yeah. Because once you've completed an objective, you'll earn a brick. And then you'll need, say, 5 bricks to unlock the first part of a skill. And then 10 bricks and then like 20 bricks or something like that. I can't remember what the actual multiplier is. But that's a lot of things for you to be able to do. And these hub worlds have vast amount of stuff on each one, and when there's 2 or 3 per movie, you're unlocking an awful lot of stuff. I mean, it's like Coruscant, I think itself has about 2 or 3 different areas.
Yeah.
So
no, it's just so clever.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep you busy for months, even if you come away from it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, some of the levels I've 100% in now.
You've really gone for it then.
Yeah. Yeah, because as soon as I I'd completed the game, that was it. I was then right. I'm figuring out how I'm doing each level. I think I've got like 90% of the Phantom Menace complete.
Right.
It's just one little bit in one level. I just cannot, or 2 bits in 2 different levels. I cannot find how to, or figure out how to do it. It's bugging the life out of me.
I like the idea about when you're building different things to complete an objective, they give you 2 ideas to do it.
Yeah.
So there's either you're going to put some water out on a flyer, or you're going to go for another area and just blow the wall to run around that way.
Well, there's that one where it's like on the Tantive where you can either put out a fire or blast the wall.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, or in the Mos Eisley spaceport, there was one where you can either put a gun on to shoot stormtroopers coming through the door, or you can put an electrified fence on the door so it kills them immediately. They're just a couple of examples. One of the levels you have to shoot the mice robots, that run around, and then there's also, it's not an achievement, but it unlocks a brick by shoot or killing all of the mice droids that have helmets on.
Okay.
And we've also not even mentioned about the fact that if you shoot stormtroopers, there's blue bricks you can get for shooting so many stormtroopers' helmets off.
Yeah,
But there's also, if you shoot the stormtroopers, you shoot off parts of their armour, which come in 3 parts: head, body, and legs. And if you've got certain characters, they can then get dressed up as stormtroopers, and then you can run past stormtroopers and they don't shoot at you.
It's just endless, the ideas of how to play the game.
Yeah, and there's also, I don't know if you've noticed or if you've just got in guns blazing, but there's a stealth mode as well. So if a character doesn't see you, you can sneak up behind them and press the Y button or the triangle if you're on PlayStation for a sneak stealth kill.
I think I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not on all of the levels, but it's interesting. And also, if one runs up to you and gets really close, you can do the same thing there, and that allows you to do sort of like a combat move to kill them. But they've even stepped up the combat. So if you're shooting or using a lightsaber particularly, and you're just spamming the easy attack, then they'll start to block. But what you can then do is like jump up and start attacking, and that'll knock them up into the air, and then they can't block. Or you can do a jump up and then you then slam into the ground or shoot into the ground and do a blast radius effect. So there's lots of different mechanics in it that weren't in the previous games.
I think it may be a little bit overwhelming, but I think if you just bear with it and if you just play it the right way around, you just have a lot of fun with it.
To be honest, it's a very gradual learning curve with it. Yeah, it doesn't throw you in at the deep end, because some of the stuff isn't accessible until you've completed the level.
Yeah,
like the original ones. So. Anyway, shall we go on to my last game? So this one is a game that's on Game Pass. I believe it's on PlayStation as well, and it's called The Pedestrian. So I was thinking, Steve, this is one that you could play on your, getting an achievement a day to get the 50 Microsoft point things.
Yeah.
This is quite an easy game to do. It's quite a relaxing one. It's a platformer, but it's a platformer with a bit of a difference. So the platform element works through street signs,
right,
or signage of some form. So, for example, it's a normal, left, right, up, down, jump. You have to pick up items. You can move items, all of that sort of stuff to help you traverse these signs, which have, the signage is done so that you can see that there's locked doors, open doors, ladders, and stuff like that. And in certain areas, there's either like a single sign, excuse me, or there might be multiple signs. And where there's multiple signs, you then go into like the edit mode, and then you will see that there's connectors. So you can connect a door in one side to a door in another side, and you can run from one to another. Right. Or you can connect a ladder from one to another, and then you kind of like make your own map to navigate through. And then when you get a little bit later, there's also things like arches, so that if you put one sign over another, once you go through the arch, you drop it into the one behind, and then you can carry on. And then if you change any of the links, you reset back to the beginning. But what you can do is move the like, for example, the arches around quite a lot.
Yeah.
So as long as you haven't changed the commitment of a link between two signage, you won't reset. So it's a really fun game. Probably take you about, I'm estimating at the progression rate I'm doing at the moment, about 2 to 3 hours to complete. I would say you get an achievement about every 20 minutes.
Right.
Something like that. And that's after you've finished an area. So you finish an area by getting on a train, using the signs on, to go onto the train. And then you've got to type in the code to set that train going, and then it takes you to the next area. You go out and you do more signs. Normally, when you get to the next area, there's a couple of sort of like single puzzles, and then there's one big puzzle linked to 3 or 4 areas, and it's got post-it notes saying what you need to get from each one of those areas to bring back to that central area to complete it. Like I said, it's on Game Pass. It's available for free if you've got Game Pass. Otherwise, you can purchase the game as well. It looks really nice on PC. It's on Xbox. I'm sure it's on PlayStation. Well worth a go, I would say.
Yeah, I think my hard drive is a bit full at the minute. Let's have a look.
I don't think it's a massive game, but it looks really good as well. So it's based on American street signs.
It's called Pedestrian, I think you said, yeah?
The Pedestrian, yeah.
Let me have a look. Let me go and let's have a look. Browse for P.
There's lots of YouTubers who have done solutions and that as well. So if you do get stuck, you can look up a way past, because some of the puzzles are quite intricate. But once you get the logic of it, they're quite easy to sort of solve.
Yeah.
But well worth a look.
So we can find it now.
Anyway, shall we move on to movies, TV, and streaming?
Let's go for it.
In quest of a better life,
all right, movies, TV, and streaming, and a couple of bits of news for you all. First off, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is delayed. So the sequel to the much acclaimed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, is being pushed back to the 2nd of June 2023. In addition, the film is also dropping the Part 1 from the title, but Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 2 is still set to arrive on the 29th of March 2024. Some people are saying that this is spelling problems for the film, but the reports suggest that this mostly seems to be Sony reorganising its release schedule. So that's that. Otherwise, this coming week, we've got Star Trek New Voyages that is coming out for those of you who've got access to Paramount Plus. Yeah. All of us in the UK are back to being poor partners here. But the trailers are out and it looks absolutely fantastic. I can't actually remember the last time I had so much anticipation for a TV series, especially for Star Trek.
If anything, that's probably the one I've been looking forward to the most out of all of them. I've been disappointed slightly. Although, as I say to you, that we just want Paramount Plus so I can watch the director's cut in 4K, in remastered and redone and everything else. That's really what I want as well. But until we get Paramount Plus, we are going to be on the back foot. We
are indeed. We are. The other thing as well is the new Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is out very shortly, and the latest trailers are out for that. And I don't know if you've seen those, Steve.
I don't think I've watched the last one yet. I don't think I've caught it yet.
Well, there's 2 or 3 new ones out, and some very interesting things. There was a certain more elderly gentleman's hand on a very golden wheelchair.
Oh,
which
okay.
is and we already knew that Patrick Stewart's in because let's face it, his voice is very, very distinguishable. Anyway, it looks like he's going to be reprising his role as Professor Xavier. So finally, we get mutants back in the MCU, or in the MCU for the first time. And then the other character is fresh out of What If. So What If being the animated series that was released over the, I think was it just before or just after Hawkeye was released? And that is Peggy Carter as Captain Britain.
Yeah, that seems a long time ago when you were talking about that show.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about it, but yeah, so Captain Carter is transferring over, which is great news.
Yeah, it's cool. Say, is it going to gather pace now? This DC Marvel, because it's been a bit lackluster of late.
Well,
so...
we've got another 3 movies this year, haven't we? From Marvel, I believe, because obviously Thor: Love and Thunder is just around the corner.
Doesn't that such a great trailer?
Oh, it's fantastic trailer.
It just put a big smile on my face. That one.
As soon as you start hearing "Sweet Child of Mine" bumping out.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for that. I'm really looking forward to both of these movies, which is not really a surprise, is it?
No.
So anyway, do you want to do the cinema releases, Steve?
Okay, so 5th of May, as just been talking about, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. 13th of May, we have Everything Everywhere All at Once, Father Stew, The Drover's Wife, The Quiet Girl, and Firestarter, the reboot is out. I thought it was a bit later, but yeah, that's coming 13th of May. I'm
really looking forward to that. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head.
It's another multiverse sort of thing. So I forgot what she's called. Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, do you remember Michelle Yeoh? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, her, yeah.
Yeah, so she plays a character who is basically spread across the multiverse, and something's going wrong, and she's got to save the multiverse. I don't think it's anything at all to do with Marvel, but it does. Just what it is. Yeah, it's just another one of those things. But I really like the look of that movie. I want to really see that. Not much on DVD, or at least not much according to the website that I get the details from.
Is that it?
Yeah, Succession season 3.
Are you sure?
Well, when I looked up on that website that I always go to, but it's very difficult to actually find DVD releases at the moment.
I'm just going to type in 4K Blu-ray on just doing the thing on Amazon to see if anything pops out that's coming out soon. You do have Death of the Nile coming out on May the 2nd, which is another remake with a load of actors that we all know and love. You can't really get anything on here for that. Oh, that's something I got, didn't I? I mentioned it as well, actually. It's another film. God, forgot about that. Completely forgot. I don't know if you know any sort of charts else to have a look.
Oh, there is Uncharted coming out on May the 9th.
That's quick.
Yeah.
What else? Get
Constantine, the House of Mystery as well.
Yeah.
Chucky, season 1.
That was a
Good
brilliant.
Guys edition. That's out on May the 2nd.
It was such a good TV show. I loved that. That was really, really good. I have to say that. If anyone wants to pick that up, or
it's not for a few months yet, but Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD 4K edition is released on July.
Yeah. Both of them are. And they're both about $49.99 each or something.
Yeah, a bit expensive for both.
I've got the DVD box set of them.
I've just got the DVD. The Wrong Arm of the Law vintage classic with Peter Sellers, that's coming out as well. That's on the 2nd of May.
She's going to get us new releases now. West Side Stories on May the 2nd on 4K Blu-ray. What else have we got here?
Peaky Blinders season 6
Yeah.
on the 9th.
Jungle Cruise, May the 3rd. Well, I think Free Guy's already out, isn't it?
Yeah. Disney and Pixar's Turning Red 4K, 2nd of May.
Mm-hmm. Moonfall, May the 2nd.
Yeah, good. I watched that recently. It's a good movie.
No, is it? Because some people have been whinging about it.
I enjoyed it. It was just one of those things of disengage your brain and, just go along for the ride kind of thing. And I think if you don't look too much into it, it's okay. It's not one of those movies that's going to catch the earth on fire because it's so hot or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Smoking Aces 4K is released on the 2nd of May as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Hero on Blu-ray 16th. So there's a few, but obviously the website I get them from at the moment has let me down. Anyway, should we do charts?
Yeah, okay. So, cinema charts. In at 5, we've got Belfast. Re-entry at 4, we have The Watchmen. New at 3, we have Sing 2. In at 2 is Moonfall. And still number 1 is Spider-Man No Way Home.
I'm surprised that's still showing anywhere, to be fair.
Mm.
And actually, we've got exactly the same for the...
Are you sure that's a copy and paste mistake or not?
No, that's not a copy and paste mistake. That was from the same website. I'm going to look for another website for the charts because they seem to be not really giving me the right chart. Actually, no. Sorry, my apologies. It is actually a copy and paste mistake this time. Hey. So at number 5 is Belfast. This is for the cinema charts. Number 5 is Belfast. Number 4 is Death on the Nile. Number 3 is Jackass Forever. Number 2 is Spider-Man No Way Home. And number 1 is Sing 2. So that was worth it, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah, so Uncharted, here you go, 4K, May the 9th.
Yeah.
Is it worth purchasing, do you think?
I actually really enjoyed it as long as you don't read too much into it. Tom Holland is really good. And I spoke about this on the last show. Don't you remember?
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah.
No, I'm just talking in general here. I mean,
Marky Mark is a bit Marky Mark. It's another Marky Mark movie. But in terms of Tom Holland gave a good performance. It was an enjoyable movie. I think it's one of my son's favourite movies of all time, but he's never had any exposure to the video games yet.
No.
There's not ones he's played. So I dug those out for him and left him on top of his PlayStation, and he's still not playing them. So it can't have made that much of an impact on him. But yeah, it's worth a watch. Whether or not you'd want to buy it in 4K, I would argue probably not.
Well, so, I mean, it's only 20 quid, I think. So
yeah, I think that'll be one that'll be probably 15 quid in a few months' time. But Tom Holland gives a decent performance, especially considering that Nathan Drake's supposed to be in his mid-30s, and he was obviously in his still the lighter side of 20s, because he's 24, isn't he? But he did a good job. So anyway, what have you been watching, Steve?
Well, actually, it's not another movie on there, actually, but my passion for certain movies, I mean, we all have movies that we love and adore. And me personally I've been watching old movies. So the first one I've watched this week is Martin. And does it spring to mind? It probably doesn't.
Steve, I was 6 when this was released at the cinema.
So Giorgio Romeo, from zombie fans of all sorts, a young man who believes himself to be a vampire goes to live with his elderly and hostile cousin in a small Pennsylvania town where he tries to redeem his blood-craving urges. But unfortunately, he goes around killing people and sucking their blood. It's a very much a slightly disjointed movie. I think the only reason I'm going to say that now is because we're waiting for Second Sight to release a remastered with all the missing footage. I still enjoyed it, mind you. It's still a cool little film. Mm-hmm. And if you like those sort of old vintage movies like that, you'd probably get a kick out of it. You can actually watch this on YouTube, to be honest, as well. It is floating around there if you want to just have a look at it.
Cool.
But from the age of it is, you got to sort of take it for what it is, really. The next film I watched, it's funny, I've had this sitting in my room, and I've not actually opened it for such a long time now since I picked it up. And I've got a special edition of Force 10 from Navarone. Do you remember this movie?
Has this got Harrison Ford in it?
It has, yes.
Yeah.
And basically, it's like a continuation from the original Guns N' Navarone movie. We've got Robert Shaw, Harrison Ford, Edward Fox, Barbara Bach, Carl Weathers, Richard Curl, to name a few. And if you've never ever seen this movie, I would recommend you highly pick it up if you like a good war movie.
I'm not really into war movies, and I remember I quite enjoyed this.
But for what this is, I mean, it's superb. It really is. Because of who's in it as well.
Yeah.
And I think it lifts it much more.
Ford was really young in this, though, wasn't he?
Well, this was before he did. This was
Star Wars.
Yeah.
While he was still a carpenter.
But ironically, you got Barbara Bach and Richard Kiel in this, that both were in the Bond movie together as well.
Yeah. Mrs. Ringo Starr.
Yeah. They're on a mission to take out some. They got some secret missions to take out some new stuff to stop the war machine of the Nazis and so on and so forth. The Blu-ray's a very good clean cut. It's really crystal on that. The sound in it's superb. It's a thoroughly good war movie if you like your war movies. And for me, Carl Weathers is great in it. And it's funny because when you got Richard Kiel plays these partisans, and I don't think this film would probably get edited slightly, but they keep calling him Blackie. Hey Blackie, and he's going through his skin. He's saying, "Why isn't it coming off? You know, because it's dark."
Sounds like Tropical Thunder.
It is, yeah. But it's got a slight good humour to it as well. But Harrison Ford's superb in it, and Robert Shaw as well. I'm not sure if this was one of his last films now before he passed away, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed that one. There's one here I haven't actually got on here, which I will go to the Internet Movie Database because I just want to. I did mention it. Excuse me. I did mention this a little while ago that it was coming. And so also what I watched this week is, for me, my favourite musical of all time. And the 4K 70th anniversary edition of Singing in the Rain turned up in the post. And, oh boy, I sat and watched this the other night, and I just have a smile on my face with this sort of movie. I know musicals are a very, very hard movie to digest, depending on how keen you are on them. And it was such a good print. For a 70-year-old movie, the bit of restoration work they've done with this as well. The sound quality is excellent on it. Everything about it is a slight grain in some places, but for a 70-year-old movie, who cares? You're going to get some on that.
You see, we all know that your favourite one's actually High School Musical.
Oh God, man, no, you're joking. I love the movie for the story, the way that it's bringing in the way the story is bringing in the start of the talkies for Hollywood. So that was the jazz singer that was the first movie to be a talkie, and this imaginary production company are doing their own sort of getting the first talkie out there from two characters that have been doing black and white silent movies, and it's such a funny, good movie. I mean, Gene Kelly is such a great dancer; he's fantastic. I mean, he's up there with Fred Astaire for me, and Donald O'Connor as well. He does a skit with a song called Make 'Em Laugh, and he's the aerobatics he does in that, you know, are just out of this world. You don't see films like this anymore. I mean, West Side Story, I suppose, was remade by Spielberg. I didn't see that. It's not really my cup of tea. But yeah, no, I just thoroughly love this movie. It's one of those ones that I can sit and I can watch it any day of the week and just put it on. It's a very short film, to be honest, but you know every tune in this film. It's just, you just sort of just sit there and just enjoy it for what it is. I don't know if do you like musicals at all or not, or is there?
No, I love musicals. I mean, I would say that my favourite one's Les Mis.
Okay.
But you know, love Rocky Horror, love Little Shop of Horrors. Both of those really appeal to me.
But from the MGM era, should we say?
From the MGM, I'm not so bothered about them. I appreciate them.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say that if I was to go and think I want to listen to a musical, they would be anywhere near the top of my list.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the ones, I mean, we've all watched Grease, and don't deny it, but we all have done.
Yeah.
And I've seen Dirty Dancing, I don't know how many times, to be honest. It's one of
That's not really a musical, though, is it? It's
no, I suppose not. No, I suppose it isn't really, is it? It's more of a
Grease is a musical.
Yeah, Grease is, yeah.
I mean, it's like Saturday Night Fever and stuff like that. They're not musicals. They're movies with music.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise you'd say Teen Wolf was a musical if you classified the others as music.
No, but
but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know I mean, it is one. You know, music's obviously one of those things that's really very subjective,
very personal as well.
Yeah, and you know, say I know that it's a more modern one, but I actually really enjoy The Greatest Showman.
Do you know I've never seen it?
It's well worth watching. I think there's a couple of really good songs on there, and some of them are actually really quite highly emotive songs when you actually what the actual words are.
Yeah.
Really very good. And Hugh Jackman's great in it.
Yeah.
I think Zac Efron actually as well. He's really good in it.
I think the latest musical out that I've seen would be Annette, which was from Sparks, where you've got Adam Driver singing in it with his flock of hair.
Yeah.
That was something completely different, and I like that one as well. Actually, that's quite a good one. But yeah, but just from this is from more of a child thing for me as well. Where Singing in the Rain is concerned.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I'll tell you what. You really do get some really funny looks when you're singing along to the Rocky Horror Show in a stationary traffic jam, in a queue to get into a car park in Middlesbrough.
Are you doing? I mean,
I was doing a sweet transvestite at the time.
You're doing all this in the car.
I was.
Do the time warp and all this or whatever.
I was getting some really funny looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just called that Wednesday. No, I did do that once, and it was many years. You sort of like talking 30 years ago when I was just starting to drive, and I had it on tape. Me and my girlfriend, we were both, sat there. I say, "Great, I'm a sweet transvestite," and stuff like that. My friend in the back going, "Oh my God, I wish I wasn't here."
But I mean, I've been to many parties back in the day, and when the time warp, let's do the time. When that comes on, everyone's up and bouncing around,
It gets people up there.
I haven't been to. I've seen it at the cinema once, and people were dressing up coming to it as well, and they were prancing around in the aisles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a big event, but also when you've got things like Little Shop of Horrors with "Feed Me Seymour" and all of that.
Yeah, no, that was really good, and it's. I suppose it's a bit of a classic nowadays, isn't it? That one.
Well, it is, yeah. Well, yeah. so's Rocky Horror Show.
Yeah, well, say that is very much a cult musical, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, so it's a shame that the follow-up to that was nowhere near as good. But hey, you got the same with Grease as well, didn't you?
Oh, God, yeah, wasn't that one bad as well? Wasn't it, Grease 2?
Yeah.
Even though you got Michelle Pfeiffer in it,
Yeah, that's the one. That was bad.
But no, it's funny because when Grease came out, you had probably about three singles in the charts at the same time, and they all sort of reached number one at some point.
Yeah. And
I was just finishing. I was probably my last year of school at the time, I think, when it came out, roughly. And but to be honest, Singing in the Rain is the ultimate of musicals for me. It's really if I was going to give me a top 5 musicals, that would be my number one.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, that's by the by. So last night there's a film that came on Sky. I've been meaning to watch it. It came out probably September last year. So this is directed by James Wan, and he gave us Saw back in the day. Also, The Conjuring, and I think Insidious as well. Mm-hmm. So this is a great little horror flick about a girl called Madison. She's paralysed by a shocking vision of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers those waking dreams are in fact terrifying reality. And wow, I didn't expect this movie to go the way it did. I hadn't heard of. I know about it. I know about the score because I've seen it on Waxworks, and everyone's been purchasing it at the moment. It's a really good score. And I saw the trailer for the film, and I get the idea that someone's out there doing these grisly murders, but she seems to witness them, and she seems to fold into that universe, and she witnesses it firsthand, even though she's not really there, but she is.
Mm-hmm.
And the police are on the trail of this killer, but from the first 15 minutes of the movie, you feel that this is more of a psychic thing from the way it goes. There are some very good scare jump moments, not for me, but were for my missus, because she did lift off her seat a couple of times. I have a feeling we could have a sequel from this, personally. Maybe not, I don't know, but really, really enjoyed it. The cast were pretty cool as well. Yeah, just overall good fun movie. And I haven't seen a decent horror movie in a while, but this one I certainly recommend if you've not got to see it yet. It's definitely worth watching. And yeah, absolutely, it's one of those. It's something I may even pick this one up to have a copy myself, I think, at some point. 6.2 on the Internet Movie Database rating, but I would give it a bit more than that personally.
Yeah.
Just under 2 hours for a movie, so that's not bad when it goes. Yeah, great fun. On Sky at the moment, if you've got Sky, just go and check it out. Sit with the missus and cuddle up with a bottle of wine, you'll be well away. How about yourself? What have you been up to watching?
Well, I mentioned it before. I watched the Arrow version of Johnny Darko in 4K. I watched Donnie Darko many years ago. I've forgotten most of the story. But it's one of those movies where you really know that the writer and director completely understood the Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
it's very much in that sort of feeling with lots of philosophical undertones. There were some great performances. Obviously, it stars, I can never pronounce his surname, but Jake Gyllenhaal, or however you pronounce his name. Obviously, most recently, we've seen him as Mysterio in the Spider-Man movie. But there was other people in there as well. Patrick Swayze's in it. Drew Barrymore was in it. Mary McDonnell, do you remember her? Do you remember her? She was on Battlestar Galactica as the president on the reboot Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay.
She's Donnie's mother. And the one that really threw me aback a bit was Seth Rogen. He's on it.
Must have been one of his first movies, wasn't it?
It must have been. So, yeah, it was really unusual sort of seeing him. So, obviously, the story follows the life of the titular character and following a close brush with death. He has increasingly strange things occur in his life, including a humanoid rabbit who predicts dark prophecies and all that sort of thing.
That really gives you the heebie-jeebies, I'm sure it really, doesn't it?
Yes, somewhat, especially when he has an eye, stuff like that. Obviously, there's lots of theories about time travel and stuff like that in this movie as well. This version of the movie, this is an Ultra HD Blu-ray, which boasts a really, really excellent 4K image, which is also has the added thing of being blessed with a Dolby Vision picture. The disc is obviously 3840 by 2012 at 24 frames a second progressive scan with an aspect ratio 2.35 to 1, and it's got a 10-bit video depth and a wide colour gambit and high dynamic range. Obviously, it's got Dolby Vision, as I said, and it's using the HEVC 265 codec for HDR10. I think despite the fact that this is a dark movie, if you remember it, a lot of the scenes are in at night. The colour depth that they're using in the HDR is wide enough that I could see what was going on clearly on screen in my movie area, movie watching part of the house, which is a south-facing room in the middle of the day, which I thought really stood out to how good a wide colour gambit and high dynamic range it is. Audio-wise, there's two great DTS HD master audios of 5.1 mixes, but unfortunately there's no Dolby Atmos.
Mm-hmm.
As you would expect from Arrow, there's a whole load of extras, including lots of commentaries, documentaries. There's 1 or 2 short films linked to the movie, deleted scenes, there's a poster, and there's a lovely little book as well. The book's about 1 centimetre thick.
Was your one the sort of the box set one, special edition they do?
This one.
Yeah, turn it sideways on, the other way. Yeah, that's okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, you get this lovely little hardback book.
That makes a change, because some of them are sort of a softback, if you're with me.
Yeah, no, this is a hardback book.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good collection, well worth the money, and I would recommend it. It was such a nice thing to see the movie after all of these years, after not remembering anything really about it. I think the last time I watched this, I would have been it came out in 2001. It must have been about 2002 or 3. The last time I saw this, you talk about 20 years ago.
Excuse me.
Which is really great.
They're slowly drip feeding them out to us at the moment, because their collection of movies that they've got now is a huge catalogue.
Yeah.
And sort of every month you're getting a drip feed. Like we had Robocop, American Werewolf in London, Crash, all coming out in 4K.
Yeah, well, I've got Robocop right here, and to be honest, I think the Donnie Darko version, even just in the terms of the presentation, even though they're both more or less the same thing, the book in the Robocop one is soft-backed, whereas the Donnie Darko one,
and I think, to be honest, all of my ones I have they're all soft-back.
Yeah. So
where I've got some of the Italian horror ones, I think Cat and Nine Tail, the Dario Argento movies, Phenomenon, and that they're all the same like that. But I would like to see, so Tenenbaum's coming out now. That's the next one that's coming out in 4K UHD, which I'm really looking forward to. But one out of their catalogue I'd love to see with a remaster in 4K in a nice little box that will be carried, because that at the moment isn't on the list yet.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it will hopefully be one that will be. So the Donnie Darko limited edition you got, there you go, $29.99. It's got it there. But I just love they do some their movies. There's one I'd like to get hold of yet, which I haven't yet, which is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Have you ever seen that one?
Yes, I've got it on Blu-ray.
Right. Yeah. So they got the 4K version of it now.
Right. That was what do you call it? Wasn't it?
It's Kenneth Branagh and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
That is a good version of the Frankenstein movie. Well worth watching if you've not seen it.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it, although it got, I think, pretty much critically panned at the time, didn't it? But Kenneth Branagh did an okay job with that. Yeah. And obviously he's De Niro, so what more do you want?
Yeah, because he's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny, I'm running out of room to keep me in one little area. My Arrow ones. I've got too many. But yeah, they do some great ones. I'd say, also like 101 Films, Second Sight, we do some great remasters as well. Some of these independent companies. And if you're after an odd movie or two, they're worth getting. I have pre-ordered Cat's Eyes, but I don't know when it's coming yet. That's the Stephen King short stories.
Yeah.
So I've got the Cat's Eyes, the 4K UHD copy of that coming at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be too long.
Well, on Amazon, it's now saying 23rd of May, I think.
That's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah, and that's great. That's some great short stories in that movie.
Yeah.
I think one of the latest ones from Arrow is the Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, but I do have a different version of that. Actually, I've got two, but there's one I can't play because I've got an American copy as well, different region. My machine won't play imported stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, the only other thing I've been watching really is Picard. So I know that you're not far up.
No.
In terms of the Picard.
How are you finding it? Is it okay?
I feel it's dipped in the middle. I'm still enjoying the stories. Don't get me wrong. I'm still enjoying the season, but I think they've done the key mistake of forgetting the fact that they're on a 10-episode season, which is what they did the last season. It started off really, really strong. The stories were really good. And then we hit this brick wall of an episode and a half. And it was a filler episode from a 26 episode season. But they spread it into 1.5 episodes of a 10-episode season that didn't need to be there. It's one of those stories that could have got rid of, because I cannot see any payout of that story thus far. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it. I've loved some of the stuff that they've done with some of the characters. It's been a lot more subversive, I think, this time, in terms of where I thought it would go. I was pretty sure at one point that we would see Ben Sisko return, and I really, really hoped that we would. That's why I was saying, thinking we'll get a very special, as in Avery Brooks. But unfortunately, that didn't pan out. And I think that would have been really, really good if they'd have done. But the character that they did do, it was a deep cut from a very specific episode, The Link. I wouldn't say a deep cut, but if you don't know the original series, it would have been quite a deep cut. But it was, I'm not going to spoil it for you anyway, because I want you to see it and enjoy it. So you've really got to catch up with that. You're the one who's a self-professed Star Trek fan, Steve, and you're not watching Star Trek. Don't come and get all about that. You haven't got time either.
But it's whatever you're in the mood for as well. It is. And at the moment, I want to just see Star Trek: The Motion Picture. That's all I want. I mean, I've been listening to reviews about it. I've been listening to some podcasts talking about it, and it's really done a magical trick on it. And it's not even out to pre-order yet, even worst case, It's
I know. I think they're going to milk it for all it's worth before they start selling it.
Well, Sky, pull your finger out. That's all I'm going to say. It just does my head in.
Well, it's both Sky and Paramount, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, they got to sort their how it's going to work. But
Okay. Oh, I also started watching Russian Doll. Have you seen that?
No, I'm not sure about that one.
That was a program that took me a bit by surprise, actually, because it's one of those ones that's constantly getting recommended to me on Netflix. And I keep looking at it, think, not really bothered about it. It doesn't look interesting because it just shows you a close up of a redhead's face sort of thing. And it's an interesting twist on time travel.
Oh, okay.
So this woman keeps dying and then ends up going back to the same point in time over and over and over again.
Well, Groundhog Day.
Yeah, sort of, but she has to die. Time will progress normally, but then as soon as she dies, she resets. And she dies like every day, sort of thing. She'll be walking downstairs and someone will knock into her and then she'll fall down and break her neck and stuff like that. So it was actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I've just started watching season 2. So that one is, again, time travel, but different. Because they sort of like got a resolution on season 1, but now time travel is happening in a different way. So
we have been watching. I mean, I've been watching some of the. My wife's been watching all sorts. They're like the women seem to claim Netflix more than we do.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through what we've been. I'm trying to see I'm just going through my list of what she was watching. I did enjoy watching the end of Suits. I mean, even though I dropped in and out of that show for about 8 seasons, I got a fair good chunk of it, and I did enjoy that. And the ending of that show really did do what most TV shows don't, is they ticked all the boxes to tidy it up, to say that's it, no more. So that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think what else did we really recently watch. Yeah, so that was it. Atomy of a Scandal. I highly recommend that. So this is a 2022 psychological thriller series from David E. Kelly, featuring Sienna Miller, Michelle Dockery, Rupert Fiend, based on the Sarah Vaughan's novel. And this is about a scandal with an MP and a lawyer that's up against him in court.
All right.
It's in the top. I think it's in the top. It's number 3 at the moment of top 10 TV programs for the UK.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good show. It's there's many episodes. How many is there? 6. And considering the sort of scandal in the government at the minute we have had, this is probably quite appropriate to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But this is a scandal, and this is going back to when you were younger as a teenager and an MP, and also doing other bits and pieces, you know. But it's cleverly done, and the way the story twists and turns with the defence attorney and you know what's up against, it's really totally worth a watch. I don't know what else. I say Mrs. has been watching all sorts. She's watching Liar at the moment. I don't know that show.
I'll tell you what I have been watching as well, which I had the box set, or got the box set, I should say, on DVD, but I've stuck on my Plex server. And that is a bit of PG Woodhouse. I've been watching Jeeves and Wooster.
Oh, God, that's a long time ago.
It is. I say Jeeves. Because I'd finished watching Blackadder, and I just thought, oh, go on to Jeeves and Wooster. I haven't watched that for years. So, I've really been enjoying that, actually, as well. If any of our listeners have never seen that, where have you been? But it's basically a British comedy drama television series adapted from P.G. Wodehouse's Jeeves stories. So basically, Jeeves is a butler working for Wooster, Bertie Wooster, who's sort of like a upper middle class kind of idiot sort of thing, based in I think it's about the 20s, isn't it? That's supposed to be.
I think something like that.
Goes back to 1993, and it stars Hugh Fry and Stephen Lorry. So it's really worth watching. It is a good laugh if you want something a little bit more period piece in terms of your comedy. And it's all, righty-ho, old chaps, and all of that sort of very British kind of humour. So maybe something that our American cousins might not quite get quite as much.
I do like a good documentary. I am, as much as it's the content is going to be a bit offish, I'm really interested to watch the documentary on Jimmy Savile.
I watched that. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I watched it because it's sort of like links in with my kind of job. But I sat and watched it because, I mean, obviously, I was of the age I grew up with. Jimmy Savile. He was someone that we all looked up to.
Yeah,
we all wanted to be on Jim Will Fix It. Let's face it. That was that was the 70s and 80s.
Who didn't actually write to that to see if you could get on it? Do you remember?
I did. I wanted to go to NASA because my mum and dad would never take me to America.
Yeah, I know, and my ex-wife, her sisters at the time were just little kids. They were on it. They were on it. I'm sitting on the old bean bags.
Yeah, and I am in no way condoning anything that he did because it was utterly disgusting. But he did earn a lot for charity, and that gave him the ability to do some of the stuff that he did and the influence, so that he wasn't prosecuted. But it's quite a well balanced documentary, as in it really goes into depth on the disgusting, horrible man that he was, but also it shows the public side that we all saw in that time, because he was quite well known for being a bit of a sleaze, but nobody was never ever taken anywhere. But for us kids growing up at the time, he was like the greatest thing going. He was just like this really weird, googly-eyed kind of guy who did these great things.
But you see, I don't know what you said, but a regular institution was Thursday night watching Top of the Pops, and he was a part of that as well.
He was.
As much as, and this is what happened was that when this all came out with Jimmy Savile, there was a few other DJs that apparently were accused, and they weren't in the end. It was all, people maybe trying to cash in on the act. I don't know, but they were proved innocent, thankfully, because nowadays it's wrong.
Okay, so let's move on to our listener questions.
John, what's happening to us?
All right, so listener questions, and as normal, we have Mark, who's going to kick us off with, how does your gaming habits ever impact your life outside of gaming? Steve?
I don't know, really. These days, gaming doesn't always come first. I think responsibility, and there are times when some people say you're allowed to game to all sorts of different hours, but you still in there. You've got a loving wife and family to look after.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just sits in where it can. Some people I know don't game as much as they want to because they've got other responsibilities, and until those children are going to be much older. I mean, I don't have any kids at home, and you've all got these certain parts of your life where you'll be doing all of this, so it all just becomes relevant to the situation you're in at the time. Yourself, you say you don't get as game as much as you used to now. You've got other responsibilities to do and stuff,
Yeah, I mean, if I'm to be fair, I think I've still got the opportunities too.
Yeah.
But I just am not as inclined. I think I'm in a lull, the same as the gaming industry is at the moment. I think
it's me the same. I said to you the other day, didn't I? I said that. Do you know what? I just can't be asked to turn it on sometimes. I'd rather maybe just go behind me and pick out a film and maybe sit and watch a movie or something.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of everything to do with gaming, which would include doing the podcast, I don't know about you, but I think doing the podcast is probably more impactful on my life than it is what I play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because there's a time and a date of time when you take out of your life away from your family.
Yeah, everything goes on hold.
Yeah, it does.
That's for you guys who are listening.
Yeah. But all right, we reschedule every now and then because we all have things to do in life that have to come first every now and then.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were planning on doing
Tuesday.
That. Well, we were planning on originally on Sunday, but
then Tuesday.
Yeah, I couldn't on. Well, it wasn't so much I couldn't on Sunday, but
no,
I had a funeral on Monday.
That's right. Yeah.
For a friend who is he's the parent of my son's best friend. We've known him for like last 14 years, and I just was not in the mood to do the show. And then on Tuesday, neither of us could do it when we'd planned to revisit it.
Because I was still driving, and you would.
I can't remember what I was, but there was some reason why I couldn't. I think I had an episode to go to or something or other like that. I can't remember. But yeah, so it just ended up, and that's the thing. And I think probably we are both a little bit more sort of flexible in terms of when we would record as to when we first started, because obviously we're 139 episodes into the show now. With this one, and then if you add all of the specials, we're actually over 150.
Yeah.
So I think that we're both a little bit of, if people want to listen, that's fine. But I think we were before very conscious of not, of putting out regular content, and now I think we'd rather do something that was when we're ready to do it rather than forcing the issue.
It's more of a meaningful content than trying to force feed something to make up a show. Yeah,
because I think those times kind of show as well, because you don't put out as good a content.
No.
And hopefully people still are listening to the show, so hopefully you guys are still enjoying it. And if you just found us, don't forget to like and follow us, and all that sort of stuff.
All that fancy stuff.
Yeah. Thinking about liking stuff and that as well, I did another Achievement Hunter video today. So easy game of score in 10 minutes. That's another one for you, Steve. Get that game. You can
have to
pop
pay
one
for
every.
Is it a Game Pass?
Yeah, but it's not on Game Pass, no. But you'll be able to get that game in a sale in a couple of weeks. It'll be like a couple of quid. But there you get up to like 4,000 gamer score on the PC version, 3,000 on the Xbox version.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there'll be another title update for the Xbox version shortly as well. So
saying that right, I just lately, I don't know about you, but I don't know how you manage your power and energy in your house due to high prices for, electricity.
Yeah.
And gas. So what I now do at night, I will switch off everything in this room. Literally, I'll unplug it all and down power it for the night.
I haven't really changed anything.
Yeah.
Because
what I notice is, right, when I do power it back up, every time I power it back up, the Xbox runs an update.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're forcing down there at the minute. I mean, God knows, but it's been.
Yeah. If you switch off your Xbox on a regular basis, you don't have
every
that
day.
automatic.
It's nearly every day, but honestly, I'm just trying to reduce the efficient. Well, I'm trying to reduce what I'm spending on electricity.
Don't forget, though, we're in the preview program, so they're always sending.
Oh yeah, there is. I know exactly. Yeah, I it's not a problem. It's you want to get on. Sometimes you think I'm going to get on and play a game now. No, I'm not. I'm just going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs while it goes. Watch a blue line go from left to right.
Yeah, because there is an article actually that was saying about the stuff that British Gas and that was sending out is all a bit of a fallacy about it costs you £140 a year for keeping your stuff on standby. I think it costs about 0.5 watts or something an hour or something or other like that. But for me, it's almost going to become null and void because obviously with getting solar power and I'm getting battery backed up as well. So I'm pretty much, that's happening in a few days. I'm not going to change my way of acting now because I know I'm going to be saving.
No, I mean, I'm just doing
£200 a month.
You see, I'm doing this now. I mean, I'm spending, and I won't see until I get the next couple of months out to work out what I'm spending on extra electricity for the car as well.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to manage it better that we can because it's just ridiculous. I'm hearing horror stories from people that are with other companies, that are paying £150 to £300 a month on electricity bills and gas. It's just horrendous. But
I've been paying £143 a month for ages before the price hike. I was looking at paying somewhere in the region of about, say, £250 for my gas and electric, which is what sort of like pushed me on to getting the solar panels because there I'm going to save about 80%. Some of it will be some pretty much standard stuff, like we're not going to run the washing machine or the dryer during the night when there's no sun. So some of that's going to be about retraining the way that we do things, which I accept. And, my wife understands and stuff like that. But I mean, it's like I've turned into my dad. Now I'm walking around the house and saying, you'll be able to see us from bloody space. This is like Jodrell Bank, because it's so blooming illuminated. My son seems to be incapable of walking through any form of darkness. And so does my wife. And my wife used to leave the light on, and I hate having the light on when you're trying to get to sleep because I can't sleep with the light on. I can sleep during the day, but I can't sleep at night with the light on. It's one of those things with me. But it's like I'm going to be looking at my electricity would have gone up to on its own £140.
Yeah,
£150, something like that, just for my electric. Yeah, and that's with the new price rise. But with the solar panels, my electric bill's going to be about £10 or £15. And also, I got a phone call this week from the guys at Save Heat Energy who were installing my solar panels, and I said, we've got to ask you, it might be a silly question, but do you mind if we give you more upgraded batteries so that you have more battery storage on your, on your solar panels?
Yeah.
And it was like, is the Pope Catholic?
Yeah.
It's like, no, just do it. If you want to give, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like, I think 0.6 kilowatt storage extra or whatever. But looking at how much electricity I use in a day, if I can replenish my whole battery or my set of 3 batteries every day, then I shouldn't be drawing anything off the national grid.
No.
Based on amount of light hours that I'll generate electricity from, based on that, top it up to 100% or whatever. But if you're doing solar panels, Octopus, and this might be interesting for you, if you're an Octopus, is if you notify them that you've got a electric car, you can charge up your car at a lower rate.
Yeah, I will ask my company. I'm not with Octopus, I'm with someone else, but I will ask them that question.
Yeah, it's worth asking. And also on solar panels, if you don't have enough light to top up your battery, you can top up off the national grid at a lower rate as well on Octopus. So whatever way, it's win-win. The only thing is, nowadays, you don't get the money back for selling back to the national grid. You get between like 2 and 5p per kilowatt, when you used to get like 50p. But that government scheme's since finished, which is just one of them things. Anyway, do you want to...
so Mark's second question it says, what has the biggest influence on your decision when choosing which format to buy your latest release on? Over to you, Haydn. This is a question for you, not for me.
I would say, is it available on PlayStation first? And is it likely to appear on Game Pass? And if it's likely to appear on Game Pass, I'll buy it on PlayStation. And if it's only going to appear on Xbox or PC, and it's not likely to appear on Game Pass, I'll probably buy it on Xbox, unless it's one that would benefit from using mouse and keyboard to play. Yeah,
I mean, if it's only going to be on PlayStation, I really, really want it, and I'd probably pick it up on there anyway.
Yeah.
It just depends, but, these days I'm lucky to say that Game Pass is really doing us a favour. And
I think PlayStation Plus is going to do the same in a slightly different way.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting to see how that all pans out. We'll have to see on that.
Because that again has a potential to save me money. I don't know about what you how you were thinking when your mindset is, but I feel like I'm less likely to play games now because of Game Pass, because as I've not paid for it, I don't feel the drive to play it, even though I can.
Well, there's a mindset for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think that's how it always works. I think you just think, if you'd have paid it, you'd make sure you play it. But if you're just going to play a bit of a game, you don't have to worry about it because you.
But that then stops me playing the game, as it were.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay.
So we've got a Scott Kids question, which is white chocolate, milk chocolate, or dark chocolate? That's without Marmite in it, Steve.
I know. Oh, have you seen the new? Got to talk about this.
I know.
Have you seen the new Marmite? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Coming out, truffle Marmite. I can't wait to try it. Mummy said that's going to be good. I said, no, you won't be. But just try it. It'd be nice. So anyway, sorry. Yeah, dark chocolate, white chocolate. I actually do have a bit of a soft spot for dark chocolate. As much as I do occasionally will have white or milk chocolate, dark chocolate is better for you anyway, on the calorie front. And I do like. Well, I had some today. Actually, funny enough, I had some dark chocolate with a glass of red wine. It goes down. They do complement each other very well.
Fair enough. For me, it'd be milk chocolate followed by white. I would. Dark chocolates would be the last ones I would eat if I would eat them at all.
I do like the special dark chocolate ones you can get, like chili flavour, orange, mint. Dark chocolate. Those sort of ones. I can't think of the name of the company that do them now.
I know what you mean. Yeah. And my favourite always used to be Terry's chocolate oranges, but I've gone right off them. But everybody still buys me them. That's what's really annoying. So I end up with all of these blooming Terry's chocolate oranges, which I've got to sort of like make my way through in one form or another.
Well, I do get Marmite chocolate though every now and then. So
yeah,
that's another story. Anyway, so should I go on to Jason Toon's question?
Yeah.
He says, well, since we've covered vehicles from movies and TV, what spaceship would you love to own? Why is that? And why is that the Enterprise Model E from the movies?
Good question. Why is it?
Yeah, you tell me.
I'm gonna be controversial, shock horror, but you'd never have guessed that. I love the Sovereign Enterprise. It is a beautiful looking ship, and obviously the best that Starfleet had to offer 20 years ago. Can't forget that. That was 20 years ago now. But I would say I would still love the Enterprise here, because there is just something so beautiful and special about the Enterprise here from the movies, or rather the refit Enterprise.
Well, that's what I'm.
the,
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
waiting for you to say, yeah, because the refit for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I mean,
yeah, either the refit or the Yorktown that was renamed here. One or the other. It doesn't really matter, because they're the same design, as it were. But I love the look of the motion picture Enterprise. Yeah,
I just had that on the other day on Sky. I just had it on, and it was on. I in the background. Mrs. come down and sat down. We were just chatting, having some lunch, and I left it on, and I just sat there watching, thinking that just looks so good. Again, I'm thinking, God, how good does that look in the remastered? But you know, it's such a lovely ship, and I did have a poster on my wall back in the day. It's a shame that I don't have anything now. I mean, I've got some smaller posters. I'd love to put one up. But what about any other ships there? I mean, quickly, forget Star Trek for a minute. Is there anything else?
Other ships. I mean, obviously,
didn't we? We did a special, didn't we? On
we
ships,
did,
didn't we? Do you remember?
We did. Yeah, we did.
So,
many months ago.
Guys, catch that one.
Yeah.
That was one of the early ones, wasn't it?
That was one of our first specials.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's loads of ships. I mean, I love the look, although it's completely impractical, of the Odyssey from 2001.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, that's quite a sort of. I think it's one of those spaceship designs that's very sort of special, or it is special to me, because you know, one of my first loves in sci-fi wasn't Star Wars or Star Trek. It was 2001, and Star Trek was next, and then Star Wars. Yeah,
because I think one of my other favourite ships was the one from Silent Running.
Yeah,
that was such a great design. You had the what's the place in Cornwall? She's got all the Save the Planet stuff, and you've got the domes. Do you remember?
Yeah, remember.
It's got that look on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah, just a great ship.
And actually, also from TV, the Eagle from Space 1999.
Yeah.
That is a classic design. I love the Eagle. And I love the fact that it was multifunctional, because you just dropped the different modules in the middle. Very kind of Thunderbirds-ish, Thunderbird 2-ish sort of thing. But
I had the Corgi edition, did you?
I did. I only just sold it as well.
And I had the Shadow with the one missile on the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, the Interceptor.
Yeah.
And all those.
From UFO.
Yeah.
UFO.
They were great ships.
Yeah, they were.
I know they're not spaceships, but the Thunderbird 1, 2, and 3. You know.
Well, Thunderbird 5 was the spaceship, wasn't it?
Space station, wasn't
it? But Thunderbird, was it Thunderbird 1 that could go into space?
No, 3.
3. Yeah, that was a good looking design. Trying to think of what other ones. I mean, I was never a great fan of the look of Firefly. I don't think. I quite like the.
How about the Nostromo?
No,
it was because that really was not such a small ship, but it was like an industrious style sort of, you know.
Yeah, I would say if I had to take any Millennium Falcon, it would be Lando's Millennium Falcon. You know, from the Solo movie before Han Solo wrecked it, because it did look quite cool with the escape pod in the mandibles at the front. So yeah, I mean, it's just so many. I love the Viper from Battlestar Galactica as well.
Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
That was really good, particularly the Viper Mark II, which was on the TV, you know, the reboot TV series.
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually got the Viper Mark I model.
Yeah, you have, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great model. Is that, you know, it was one I'd always wanted, you know, the model of it. I've also got the Mark IV. The Mark IV is very sort of much more funky.
It has that look, doesn't it?
Yeah, with all of the guns and stuff like that on it. But yeah, Battlestar Galactica did some nice design ships.
Yeah, some of the classic. I'm trying to think. Some of the classic ships, even from the 50s. I mean, I love some of the old spaceships that designed for alien ships. That like Davy Erstad still. They're very simple, but they just very very nice design.
Or Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, just so that typical look that you had with a for that B movie style.
Yeah.
That came out,
The V.
Yeah. What about the ones in Independence Day?
Well, they were sort of like upscaled versions of the ships from the V, weren't they?
Yeah, or even a little bit Battlestar Galactica, wasn't it?
No, I would say more V.
There's someone about the Cylon, the Cylon ship.
Yeah, like the base stars.
Yeah.
I used to like the Cylon Raiders as well on Battlestar Galactica. There were some really good designs of ships on that show. Even some of the other ones. And I love the Galactica itself. I particularly like the reboot version. That does look really nice.
Actually, I was listening to a podcast. I know you say you don't listen to them these days. I was listening to the Inglorious Trexperts podcast. So I listen to it quite regularly, and they did a special on Battlestar Galactica. Where both listened, that was good. But anyway, do you want to move on?
Yeah, okay. So Jason Toon's second bonus question is: has there been a game that you've come to too late? So he recently came to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the online multiplayer is now on life support.
I don't know, really. I think from the online point of view, I think I was up pretty much at the time, up to date with what they were. I think I was pretty bang on. I think I've been a bit late in some of the old Ubisoft games, but they're having a bit of a problem, aren't they, at the moment? They've been shutting down a load of servers, haven't they?
Yeah, but they're turning them back on, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they've been doing that on PlayStation 3, but they've been turning them back on again as well, evidently.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I wasn't too bad, to be honest. I think I've been late in games where they didn't really have much of a multiplayer in it anyway, so it didn't really bother me. I mean, the main big games, I think I was always out there with it. Yeah, okay. Anything else?
I think with the way that games are with us, or especially with me, because I try so many, I don't stay on a multiplayer game at all, or I don't play enough multiplayer to really get bogged down with that. You've come to it too late, so everybody's fantastic. I think that the last time that I did that was probably one of the previous Call of Duties, where I completed the campaign and then went back later on and started playing the multiplayer, and I was completely out of my depth. And Halo as well. Those are a couple of areas.
Yeah.
But with matchmaking and stuff like that, you tend to be balanced against people of a similar level.
Yeah.
So it's not that much of a problem normally, but I don't play enough multiplayer. Do you do Justin's?
Yeah, so Justin, is our last question, a bit of an in-depth one here. So he's saying, what I'm thinking in gaming subscription services such as Game Pass and soon to be improved PS Plus service in June are great, but I feel like I don't play these enough. I think it would be better to dip in and out when a game arrives that I feel that I want to spend time with. In recent months, and most of the time, I've been with games I've purchased such as Horizon, Elden Ring, Gran Turismo, and Far Cry 6. Do you think you get good value for gaming subscription services, or do you treat it like a little bit like Netflix and you always forget about it, you write it off each month?
Well, I think that goes back to our conversation a couple of minutes ago, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
I think we've probably preempted that without actually having just read ahead to your question there, Justin. But yeah, I feel that there is a lesser worth in games when you get them through the likes of Game Pass as opposed to you buy them.
It's the same with movies, isn't it?
Yeah, you're more picky and choosy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you bought it, you want to get that instant repayment of your investment, shall we say?
Yeah, and I think Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do that and just dip in and out, there's no reason why you shouldn't. If you think that you're not going to be playing the games, but I bet you guarantee if you start to do that, you're told, you know what, I think I really want to jump on a Game Pass and pick something to play. I think,
Yeah, I mean, there's been several games I've played right through to the end on Game Pass that I would have probably have never played. Had, I had to buy them, I would have missed them out entirely.
Yeah.
So, for that, in that case, I'm glad that the service is there. I think it offers great value for money. I think I do treat games differently. I would have put a lot more effort in the likes of Forza Horizon had I have bought it, especially if it was at full cost, rather than Game Pass, which case I go in and I satisfy that itch to play the game, and then I'll put it to one side, and then I might go back every now and again, but I won't play it all the time, which I would do if I spent 60 quid on it. Yeah,
I think I've got a fair chunk myself out of it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Especially that game. I've got my money's worth out of it. But there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you think about playing one game like that, which if you to purchase it would be 60, 70 quid, maybe.
Yeah.
That's going to be a few chunks of the month anyway, isn't it?
It is. But I mean, look, I'm playing the Pedestrian right now.
Yeah.
And that is a Game Pass game, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to complete that game. I've decided that's a game I'm going to complete to the end, but I'm not hammering it. I'm just when I'm in the mood, because platformers, quite often you kind of have to be in the mood.
Yeah, of course you are.
So
totally agree.
And there's some good games he's got there: Horizon, Far Cry 6. Personally, Elden Ring. I could self-harm and have more enjoyment out of it. And Gran Turismo just has not appealed to me for donkey's years. I prefer your arcade racer.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think the only reason that Gran Turismo has gone off me is just the way it's been built to play and be used now at the moment. So I'm not interested. I'll pick it up dirt cheap at some point.
I think they're trying to go more Project Cars kind of direction rather than the Ridge Racer sort of direction. And for me, I'm more Ridge Racer than I am Project Cars. I miss Ridge Racer. That's a franchise I'd wish to bring back.
I mean, to be honest, I think it's going to be this year. We should get the new Forza Horizon, Sonic Forza. So, yeah, I mean, that should look pretty amazing, I think.
I think so.
So, anything else you want to finish off with before we sort of
No, I don't think so. So, shall we do the normal things? Do you want to do your contact, Steve?
So, so Twitter at Steve07. My Xbox is Steve07. PSN ID, not that I've been on there recently enough. I know, I do apologise, but the real Steve07. YouTube channel for music and movie stuff is the Final Cues. And Haydn?
So for me, you can find me on more or less everything as HERJUK. That's Twitter, PSN, Xbox Live, and Steam. But if you want to get me on Epic, you can just get me on Pop Culture Gamers. Don't forget, we have our YouTube channel, Pop Culture Gamers, for our youtube.com/Pop Culture Gamers. We have our Twitter feed, which is Pop Culture Gamer. We have our Facebook group. We also have our Facebook page. If you've got any inquiries, you can also email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. And don't forget, our website for the podcast is anchor.fm/Pop Culture Gamers. And that's it for another week. We'll probably be back in about 2 weeks, unless something happens, in which case we'll let you all know. But we're planning on 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's a good night from me.
And a good night from him.
Good night.